Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you love reading, you are in the right place today. My name is Samantha, and on this channel, I just like to make book videos. So far I've made a few reviews and I posted a summer book haul that I recently did. So if you're interested in watching those, they're on my channel. I did a review of Oathbound by Tracy Dion. I feel like I did another review, but I can't remember what it was at this point. And then today, as you're here for, I'm going to be talking about First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, and I just want to do a review. It's going to have some spoilers in it, and I just want to talk about my thoughts because I want to see how everyone else felt about this book, and I want to share my thoughts and then see what you have to say as well in the comments. So this is the first book I've read by this author, B.K. Borison. I think it just released pretty recently, within the last few weeks of this year. And I saw it on TikTok, and what really stood out to me was the cover. This cover is absolutely gorgeous, and on the back it says it was illustrated by Miriam Strasbourg and the design was by Lila Sell. So shout out to them. You all did an amazing job on this. Like it just sticks out to me, and to me, a cover of a book, it needs to be cute, it needs to stick out to me, it needs to catch my eye for me to want to even just pick it up and see what it's about. So I just absolutely love this. It's giving romance, it's giving, you know, rom-com, like cutie. So I like it. And that's what, you know, prompted me to go find it in a bookstore and buy it. It's basically about these two people who end up talking to each other because one of them, Aiden, is the main character, the main male character. He is a radio show host, and he gets connected with Lucy in a funny way through his radio show, and that is how they end up connecting. And Lucy has been single for a very long time, and she's wanting to put herself out there, and so he goes on this journey to help her find love through his radio show. That's the general premise. So if you haven't read it, that's generally what it's about. And of course it's a romance, so it's going to have romance, it's funny, it's deep, it, you know, has a lot of other things within this book. It wasn't just romance, but that was the main focus. But I really liked it. I gave it a 3.5 stars. So if you're interested in reading it and you haven't read it yet, I would recommend it to someone who is interested in a romance, but it also has a little bit more like depth to it, a little bit more backstory, not just like a quick romance. I think this book was about 430 pages, so it's on the longer side of what a romance usually is. So take that what you will. And so again, yeah, I would recommend it if you are in the mood for that type of romance. It's real world, you know, depth, has good characters, and yeah. So now I want to get into the spoiler section of this book, and I want to talk about specifically what I liked, what I didn't like, and all that stuff. So let's get into the spoiler part. Also, I have very crisp Dr. Pepper from Chick-fil-A. I had their smokehouse barbecue sandwich for dinner, and it was really good. So anyway, getting into the spoilers, what I liked about this book. I really liked the different aspects of the book in terms of the characters' lives. So it wasn't just focused on the romance. Now, this will kind of go into something that I didn't like about the book though, because at certain points it felt like, especially in the beginning, it felt very slow. But there was a lot of backstory and there was a lot of build up to where we got to the Lucy and Aiden kind of connecting and them realizing that they liked each other. It was a minute for us to get there, but once we got there, it was a little bit better for me. But even though I did like, you know, the backstory, and I loved how Lucy, how her family dynamic was, and how her friendship dynamic was with her friends in her life and her coworkers that she had, and she has a daughter. So I really liked that she was a really in-depth character, and she wasn't like a stereotypical main female character in a romance, especially because she has a daughter. A lot of romances that, at least that I've read, you know, some of them have had that, but not all of them, or not most of them that I see that are really popular have that. So I like that she had a daughter, and I like that she was a mechanic. So those two things were kind of set her apart in terms of characters. And she's been single for a very long time, obviously because she has a child, and she had her child very young. So I just feel like her life got off the rails in a way that she didn't expect, and she wanted to keep her baby, and then her life went from there. So I don't know, I just really liked that about Lucy. And then Aiden had his backstory as well with his mom's cancer and him kind of taking on that burden and that worry and that fear at a very early age. So they both had these really complex and in-depth backgrounds to them that I appreciated, because it made me understand them a little bit better, especially Aiden, because he was getting on my nerves throughout this book. And, you know, he did certain things, but again, it goes back to his backstory. He had growth, he had character growth, so, you know, at least he had that. But there were some times I was like, Aiden, please just get it together and communicate, like, let her know how you feel. So that was one thing that I liked and didn't like. Another thing that I did like the spicy scenes in the book. I didn't know there would be any, and I usually really don't read books that have spicy scenes. I just don't end up picking them up for whatever reason, like, I don't know. So I liked them, and I think that they were really good because they were like several pages long, and I don't know, I just liked that about it. So I thought the spicy scenes were really good. And also, I guess if you've made it this far, you may have heard some spoilers, but it does have that in it, if you're still interested in, you know, reading the book and you haven't read it yet. And so I did like that, and I just liked the humor in it as well. There was a lot of funny moments, and I liked, again, it was a unique story. The whole radio show host thing, her being a mechanic, him not really believing in love is a little bit of a tropey kind of stereotype, I guess, but overall it came together and it made for a unique story. And I liked their chemistry, and I liked when we had scenes of them together, especially at the bar, and they were dancing together, and those moments I really liked and I really enjoyed. Now let's get into some of the things I didn't like, because I only gave this a 3.5, which is pretty average for me. Like, that's like an okay. It was really good. I would recommend it depending on like what you're wanting out of a book, but I don't know if I'd necessarily read it again, or I don't feel myself like gravitating heavily towards the characters. So a 3.5 is like, it was good and I liked it, and the writing was good and all of that. So what I didn't like, again, was kind of how dragged out it was. I know a lot of the times people have issues with romances that are over 350 pages. It's a whole thing. And I don't really mind it. I don't care if a book is over 350 pages, even if it is a romance or not. But it's what you do at that time and that pacing. Because to me, the beginning of this book was way too slow for me. And even them getting together and realizing that they wanted to explore something with each other took way too long. And then once we got to at the halfway point and closer to the end of the book, that's when we were having our conflict. And it felt like we just got to the point of them like even considering each other and actually spending time together. And then now we're in this conflict of Aiden doesn't know what he wants, or he can't communicate, and they're going through this fight or whatever. And so I'm like, the pacing just felt disjointed to me because of that, because at the very beginning we were having all this backstory of Lucy and her job and her life, and Aiden and his job and his life and all of that. And then there were other prospects for her going on the show. There were the side characters that we heard from. So I don't know, the pacing just felt disjointed to me. But I did like that we had both perspectives from the story. So I liked that we got Aiden's point of view as well as Lucy's point of view. So I did enjoy that. And I think it helped the pacing a little bit. And again, it helped me understand the characters more in depth. But the pacing was just really what brought it down for me, honestly. And then at the very end, when Aiden was going back and forth with just him not knowing what to do and him not being able to communicate and him just like getting jealous, because I feel like him getting jealous, he didn't communicate that well, and he would just like throw it off, especially in the very end. Like the guy from the mechanic shop with his car, Rosie or whatever, he had a Chevrolet and he was trying to pursue Lucy, and then all of a sudden Aiden's just like, yeah, take her out on a date while they're on live air. Like, it was just annoying to me. Like, act like a grown man a little bit, you know. That's really what got me. I was so annoyed at that part. But then of course we got past it and they talked. He needed time to evaluate himself, and he did. But it's just like, reading that in the moment, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed with this. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts. those are my overall thoughts. I still enjoyed this book. And again, this was my first BK Borison book, so I don't know if she'll necessarily be an auto-buy author for me moving forward, but if she writes anything that interests me, or, you know, if she writes a book and the premise sounds interesting to me, I think I would definitely pick it up, because I think her writing was still really good. Like, it didn't feel immature to me, and it didn't feel too like bare for me, too basic for me. So I think her writing was still really well, and it was just the pacing that got me, and some of the decisions that the characters made got me. But of course, you know, that's going to happen with any book. Not everything that a character does is going to agree with you, but those are my overall thoughts. If you all have any thoughts about this book, let me know. What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? What did you rate it? Let me know if you like Lucy and Aiden together. I'm trying to like mix their names. If you like them together, if you liked her with any of the other people that she met, let me know. I thought it was a cute book, and it got, I don't know if it was super popular. I saw it on TikTok. I feel like a lot of people are talking about it, so let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. And thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.